Gravlax. Gravlax isn't just smoked salmon, no. It's a different thing altogether, and the confusion is understandable because the end result can look similar on a plate. But Gravlax is not smoked, not cooked, and not heat-treated in any way. It is cured patiently in salt, sugar, and herbs like dill and pepper, and the transformation is chemical rather than thermal. If smoked salmon is about fire and aroma, Gravlax is about time, balance, and restraint. In true Scandinavian fashion, it is minimal, clean, and quietly confident. Gravlax comes from Sweden, and the word itself is a clue to its origins. It comes from gravad lax, which literally means buried salmon. The grav part is linked to digging or burying, and lax simply means salmon in Swedish. The old method, dating back centuries, involved fishermen salting fish and burying it in cold sand or soil above the high tide line, sometimes weighted down with stones so it could ferment gently and keep longer. This wasn't fine dining, it was survival, a practical Nordic solution in a harsh climate where preserving protein mattered. Over time, the technique evolved. Fermentation gave way to controlled curing, and the flavor became cleaner and more elegant. Today's Gravlax is a far cry from something left underground for days, but the name stayed. The romance of the origin story remains, and it still fits because the essence of Gravlax is the same. Salmon transformed without fire. The method is not about masking the fish, but refining it. It is about drawing out moisture, firming the flesh, and coaxing out a gentle sweetness and herbal perfume. Modern Gravlax is raw salmon rubbed with a cure of salt and sugar, heavily scented with dill, and often finished with black pepper. Some add crushed coriander, juniper, or a splash of aquavit for extra Nordic character. The fish is then wrapped tightly and left to sit in its own juices for roughly 24 to 48 hours, sometimes longer depending on thickness and preference. During this time, the cure pulls water from the flesh, and the salmon becomes denser, silkier, and more sliceable. The texture shifts from soft rawness to something that feels almost buttery, yet still refreshing and clean. This is why Gravlax deserves its own category. It is not sashimi because the cure changes the protein structure and the flavor profile. It is not smoked salmon because there is no smoke, no heat, and none of the firmer, drier bite that smoking produces. Gravlax sits in a unique middle space, cured, glossy, aromatic, and slightly sweet, with that unmistakable dill lift. It tastes like cold seas, dark forests, and the Nordic obsession with simplicity done properly. The classic way to serve it is thinly sliced, almost translucent, laid over crisp bread or rye. In Sweden, you might see it on knäckebröd or alongside boiled potatoes and a little salad. The traditional sauce is hovmästarsås, a sweet mustard and dill sauce with vinegar and oil. It is punchy, sharp, and just sweet enough to play off the salmon's cure. The combination is iconic, and once you've had it done right, it's hard to accept inferior supermarket imitations. Gravlax also carries cultural weight. It is a Christmas table staple in Sweden, part of the julbord tradition, where cured fish, pickles, breads, cheeses, and meats form a sprawling seasonal spread. It is also common at midsummer, served in the long light of Scandinavian summer, often with snaps and laughter. Even outside Sweden, Gravlax has become a shorthand for Nordic elegance, a dish that signals taste without shouting. And yet the beauty of Gravlax is that it is not complicated. It's enkelt, as the Swedes would say. Salt, sugar, dill, thyme. That's the core. The rest is finesse, using truly fresh salmon, getting the cure ratio right, wrapping it well, turning it during curing, and slicing it cleanly. There is a discipline to it. And that discipline is exactly what gives Gravlax its character. Super fresh and Nordic classic and, yeah, unique enough to have its own fan club. So no, Gravlax isn't smoked salmon. It's something older, quieter, and arguably more sophisticated. It is a dish born of necessity that ended up becoming a delicacy. It is the taste of preservation turned into pleasure. Or to put it in Swedish, det är klassiskt, det är nordiskt, och det är riktigt gott. Photo captions. Here are 5 photographs depicting Gravlax, Swedish cured salmon, showcasing its typical presentation. Thinly sliced, vibrant pink-orange flesh, often garnished with fresh dill, and sometimes accompanied by traditional accompaniments such as lemon, mustard dill sauce, or bread. These images illustrate the classic appearance of Gravlax, silky, translucent slices with a subtle sheen from the curing process, frequently highlighted by dill and served in elegant arrangements. Swedish terms, gravad lax equals buried salmon, lax equals salmon, knäckebröd equals crisp bread, hovmästarsås equals head waiter's sauce, traditional sweet mustard dill sauce, Julebord Christmas buffet, midsummer equals midsummer, snaps equals schnapps, a small shot of spirits, enkelt och simple. Det är klassiskt, det är nordiskt och det är riktigt gott. It's classic, it's Nordic, and it's really good. Gravlax, Nordic food, Swedish cuisine, salmon, food history, Scandinavian. Gravlax, gravadlax. Swedish Gravlax, how Gravlax is made. Gravlax versus smoked salmon, cured salmon, Nordic cured salmon, traditional Swedish food. Julebord, midsummer food, hovmästarsås, knäckebröd, aquavit, dill, cured salmon.